Hey Mark, how you doing?
Hey Dwight, how you doing?
I'm good.
I'm just watching these aftermarket trades here. Um, let's see what time. We still got 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got 10 minutes and we're live on YouTube.
Okay. Am I being heard right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'll just start this in about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. We are about to get started in probably about a minute. Hey, David. Great that you're loving this strategy. So the recordings will be sent out at the end of the 4 days, which is the end of today. You can also go to Mark's YouTube channel and you'll see the live streams. I'll put the link in the chat.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the webinar. This is the last of the 4-day live trade execution webinar series. My name again is Mark Shawson, the pattern trader. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I shorted Amazon just before the close at about 2,900, and it dropped about $300, and I just covered my trade. Made about $250 on that trade in about 2 minutes. So Amazon is trading about, and I talked about this week. So I've been talking all week about how I just use price patterns and price action to capitalize on monster moves in the market, like Tesla, gold, the dollar yen. We talked about that over the last 4 days. Hopefully you were able to make some money on these moves. I know I did. I came into the day short Tesla. I had $90,000 in open profits, and the stock dropped about $80. Then it started coming back, and I got out at $850 and pocketed, I don't know, about $170 on this trade. So this is what I'm talking about. I try and take out big pieces of big moves. And you can see this is where I shorted Amazon at 28.84. And right now it's trading at 26.78, down about $200 below where I got short just a moment ago. I'm currently long these calls. I should have gotten out a long time ago. I had a big profit. I let them go to nothing, and hopefully I can still get out. I think this market move, is a bit of a fake thing, and hopefully I'll get out a little bit better tomorrow. I'm also long the dollar yen. You can see dollar yen went over 130 today, and I'm short some gold. And so, we talked about all of these things over the last couple of days, and I did talk about Amazon. I think just yesterday, leading up, to this earnings result. To my mind, people always ask, do I trade the news? And the answer is no. Basically, I look at patterns to tell me where things are likely to go. So when an earnings comes out, nobody knows what the earnings are going to be, and then nobody knows how the market's going to respond to it. So you can see that despite the fact that we closed well today, I shorted into the close. So to me, this was just the fake out. I kind of talk about like the magician, like the market being a magician. It's always kind of waving its hand with one hand, while it's faking you out with the other. And so today, this, little reversal here was a fake out. And, this is what, I talk about. I talk about looking at what is the governing price pattern. So when we look at the price chart of Amazon, it looks like it's really kind of been going everywhere and nowhere. This is the true definition of what we call on Wall Street dead money. This is where money goes to die, where literally for, I don't know how long this goes back to July of 2020. So you're talking about 2 years. Nobody's made a dime. In fact, now you're at a loss because now the market's trading down there. So, this has been going sideways for a long time, but buried within all of this sideways action, and I pointed this out yesterday, was this very profound double top, which just sounds exactly what it is. Makes a high, comes off the high, retests the high, and then we have this perfectly formed pattern. Now you can see this is the governing price action. This is going to govern the price action, but you can see how, you can be duped, back and forth But once we understand the pattern, I know every time to short the rallies. And in this case, just before the earnings came out, I shorted into Amazon, and now we're down what, $250. It's trading about 26.50, right around here. So it closed there, and now we're about there. And this thing looks like it's actually going to go a lot lower, just clearing this last vestige of support. So this is how I use this price information as a weapon. To me, the market is a discounting mechanism. So, we can't really know what, this earnings result is, but all the way back here, people were starting to bail out. So the insiders, or, whatever it is, the market starts telling you. So the market started telling you right here what was going to happen here. So by the time you wake up tomorrow and read, the report and what the results are, you'll be trading it down here. And so to me, the markets are ahead of the news. We can't know what, price information gives us. What we see today was not readily available here. When we look at the balance sheet and all of the prospects, everything looks swimming here. We can't know what's going to be here, but the price, is like a magician. The price is ahead of the news. Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on some other prices here. It's pretty active. Let's see, Apple announced, Apple's up about $4. And so the other big thing this week was Tesla. Now I got short Tesla for the same reason. I saw a double top on the weekly. See the two tops here, and then also on the daily. So this is what I was talking about. I got in where I saw the key reversal and what I call the inside bar right there. I call these little bars, these coil bars, where they store energy. You can see that this bar, the range, let me use a different color here. The range of this bar from high to low sat within the range of the previous day. So to me, once I understand the pattern, the reversal, then I look at this coil bar, and then I simply slip my execution order through there. I actually started getting short a little bit higher than this. I started getting short around the 1030 area. And then, right under this neckline, once it went through there, then it confirmed it at 970. And then today it went all the way down to 820, and I bailed out of all my positions at about 850. So I made cumulatively about $150 on my initial position. Then you saw yesterday, I started selling at 910, 905, 900, and made a nice chunk of change. And so this is what I'm looking to do. Take a piece of the middle out of these big moves. Just take a piece out of the middle. And so this is what, looking just at this price information. So this is what I do at the Pattern Trader. I send out, emails every day, giving our members, heads up on, what is likely going to happen in the market. And you don't have to be correct all the time. All you need is, one of these moves, and that made me a packet full of dough. Now I can afford to go and play some options and do some things and lose on a bunch of trades. And one high quality trade can make you some serious bank. PC says, how can we become a member? So thank you for asking, PC. After this, webinar today, you'll get an email from our team alerting you about the Elite program. This is not something that you can sign up for on the internet. You have to talk to one of our team members. They make sure that you know what's involved. But thank you for asking, and so they'll give you a heads up. I'm not going to do any kind of sales spiel on this Randy says, I tried to sign up about 4 times, so I'm not quite sure what happened there, Randy. Chris says, can you explain the inside bar? So to me, what I start looking for on a chart is I open up a chart like this, and it seems pretty random, back and forth and back and forth. But within the cadence of this chart, you know, I can start seeing some patterns. So you can see this head and shoulders here. And once it broke, it led to a nice trade. So from 1,000 all the way to 700 from that double top price pattern there. And then sometimes, you know, one pattern gives away to another. And then you had a double bottom here, which then gave way to a nice 300 move, $300 move the other way. And so I will take what I call these counter trend trades. So I try to identify what is the big move that's likely to occur, but sometimes there is all kinds of smaller micro moves that, you know, if they justify taking, I will take that, but I'm not going to kind of get too in the weeds. But so here was a double top here, and then here was a double top here. So once I kind of feel like, okay, I'm seeing these bear price patterns. And by definition, a bear price pattern means that eventually, you know, these have the implication of this instrument going lower, whatever it is. Now, sometimes it breaks out, you can come back and re-challenge the breakout area and go back. So there's all kinds of things that can happen on the chart. You know, I was saying right here that, you know, it was likely to go further, but there was all kinds of obstruction here. So there's all kinds of nuance to trading, and, you know, I can't get into all of it, but basically what I'm trying to do is identify, you know, how to get into a trade, how to get into. So once I've identified that this is likely turning, that this is a bear price pattern, you know, and I see a key reversal here, makes a new high, closes on the low. So that's a key reversal, meaning that the market went higher. By the end of the day, the sellers were in control. But it wasn't only that particular bar, it was what it did right in the same geography. So it starts forming this M top, this double top, which is a reversal price pattern. It's a reversal. So the action into here was up. Now it suggests that once it comes out of here, it's going to be lower. So once I start understanding the dynamics of what I start drilling it down to where I can get in to join the trade and also understand where my risk is. So here is an inside bar. We basically see the high and low of this day sits within the high and low of the previous day. Now, just the significance of that is that I feel that I understand this is turning. And this is just kind of what I call a hangout day, where it's just, you know, it's kind of consolidating a little bit more. And the more it kind of hangs out there, the more it'll just build energy to uncork. And so this is kind of the definition of what I call an inside bar, where then I would just put a sell stop right under that low to get in and a buy stop above there. So this tells me where to get in this trade and what my risk is. So Chris, you know, that, and then yesterday was another inside bar. So sometimes when something gets going, you can use that energy. And so last night, you know, I sent out an email, put a sell stop there at 976. And this thing dropped from 900, would have put you in at 976, and then you could have picked up a quick $50 profit. Now, sometimes if you get these extraordinary profits, you know, you could take some off the table. When you start getting into areas that you've, you know, previously gotten into, the market doesn't just break through those areas like a knife through butter. So that was one of these days where you broke through here, but that's the inside day bar. Now, you'll see inside day bars all over the place. I mean, you can see it here, here. And again, what I use these reversals in inside day bars is within the context of a pattern or a trend. I don't just fire all over the place, you know, randomly. You know, but sometimes, you know, if you're into a trend here, you can see here was a coil. You know, here you had two inside day bars. Now the energy was still going higher. So you could have taken this last piece, higher. So the energy just uncorked to the upside. So I just view these inside bars as coiling of energy, as storing of energy that's going to uncork in the direction of the trend or the pattern. So you have to kind of understand what is the prevailing, trend or energy, when you see these things. So you can't just trade them in a vacuum all over the place. Thank you for that heads up, Thomas. I appreciate it. How do you find the market phase in this Tesla chart? Well, in this chart, you really can't. It's kind of higgledy-piggled, and basically, so there really is no trend if you look at this. In fact, this is basically still somewhat of an uptrend, but trends end. And when they end with a pattern, right? So sometimes you see a market just breaking lower. People, see this and then see that and say, well, how did that happen? Where did that come from? Well, always before a turn or a change of trend. So here, up to here was an uptrend. But then we start seeing certain price action and price patterns suggesting that these are reversal patterns. This suggests that this prevailing uptrend, is likely to change. And so it's the recognition of that chart pattern. Now, we talked about it yesterday, where sometimes you see these patterns and they look very much like something. So the distinction of understanding patterns and how they work and when they don't work and all that nuance is, a little bit difficult for me to explain all in one webinar. But this is starting to look like a change in direction. And if we start cutting through 700, then we'll have a big bad top here, which will suggest a much lower number. Now it's, very possible still for the market to grab a foothold along this thing, come back down here and go and make a new high. So I always look at how the market respects certain levels, certain things, but when we start seeing certain price action within the pattern, I call it the quality of the bar. So if you look right here at an all-time high, it made a new high and closed at the low. When it reattempted this high, made a new high and closed at the low, made a new high, closed at the low. So it made a new high, close at the low, made a new high, close at the low. So every time this thing gets up there, there's more sellers than buyers. So these price bars, even though it looks pretty all over the place, it looks pretty undefined, these guys start telling me a story. These charts tell a story. And it just tells me that people are getting out. This looks like an area of distribution where the insiders are bailing. And Joseph, I just logged in. Did you explain what you saw on Amazon made you feel go down? Yes, I did. I already explained yesterday based on the double top that I thought Amazon was going down. Amazon's making new low in the aftermarket right now. It's trading around 2,600 bucks, down $300. So I sold it, Raymond. I sold it just before the close today. Right here, 28.84. It's trading at 26.09. So I'm making whatever, 270 bucks on this thing. Yes, I took profit at 850. You know, when the market gives you a lot of money very quickly, you know, take it. I'm just looking at some of these questions here. Apple is rolling over. It's up about $2 right now in the aftermarket. So Randy says, that is insane. I still can't even believe you called that. That's why you were where you are, and I'm where I'm at. Incredible. Yeah, so I told you yesterday, Amazon was likely to go lower. So this is like having, you know, tomorrow's newspaper. The price is the news. You know, we have no way of knowing, you know, what information's coming out, but the market starts telling us. The market starts giving us information. The market actually points to where it wants to go. These key reversals are pointing in the direction that this thing wants to go within, you know, the cadence of these charts. Did your Airbnb get stopped out? Yeah, I got out today. I even said in the boiler room. So I do an early morning program. And I said to our members that it looked ugly in this, you know, looked like an ugly day. And I just got out of that trade. Did you catch Teladoc? Yes, I caught Teladoc yesterday. I shorted 57 and it went to 29. So I've made some incredible plays this week. So, you know, sometimes you'll see people pop on here or pop on my review and, you know, call me a scammer just because they actually want to steal my business. But, you know, it's just you know, interesting because I'm doing everything on a live chart. Over the last 4 days, you know, I've been talking about, you know, real-time moves in the dollar yen, in a bunch of these trades. So the dollar yen, I've been, you know, telling our members this was likely to put on a once in a decade move. So you can see we've cleared a 20-year high in dollar yen. Can't even, so you just took out 2015. This is a 20-year high. So I've been long dollar yen. I'm short gold. I was short Tesla. You know, suggested you guys short the euro earlier in the week, and you know it's now 300 pips lower than where it was, making new lows. So I talked about shorting the euro. So this is, again, you know, I started talking on Monday about these trades, and you know, I had no prior information other than what I see directly in front of me. What I see is a clean or naked chart without any indicators. Some of you bought my book yesterday. It's, you know, explained a little bit more, my 4-step method. So I think Chris or somebody asked me about an inside bar. So to me, you know, once I kind of feel like I understand what's going on, then I can just, so this double top, head and shoulders, again, double top here. This whole thing is a head and shoulders. And then the neckline is simply a line drawn through the pattern. So once it breaks through that and confirms that, now we know we're headed for lower levels. Now I just look for a key reversal, makes a new high, close on the low. Then I think Chris or somebody asked me about an inside bar. So yesterday was an inside bar on the euro. So to me, I just look at this as a coil. This is just a hangout bar. This is just a building of energy. And then the energy is going to uncork or unleash in the direction as indicated by the trend and the pattern. So, you know, as I indicated, there's 4 steps that I look for. What's the trend? This is a downtrend. Is there a prevailing pattern? There's a double top and head and shoulders. Then I look for what I call my insurance day bar. So right here, you could have just put a, this is getting pretty messy on this chart, but you could have put a sell stop right under there, gone to sleep, and now you're just put into a move. So trading should be effortless. And that's a 200 pip move in the euro overnight since yesterday. So trading should be effortless. You could have just put your sell stop yesterday above, at 107.50. Put your stop loss, somewhere out of the way. And then you wake up and you're in a 200 pip move. So this is, to me, most people sit in front of a screen, tearing their hair out, watching these daily 4-hour charts, looking for some magic crossover to steal 7 pips here or there. Here's a, 300 pip move in one day. But what most people do is pull up a chair, pull up a 15-minute chart and try and steal 7 pips out of this 10 times a day. I'd rather do one trade and just wake up and have 200 pips in my account. So that's just me. I'm just looking at some of your comments. Joseph says, people have said some bad things about it. I don't believe them because I follow what you say and it's always right. I always have your book. It's amazing. So thank you. So yeah, what you need to realize is that some people will come on and disparage me, discredit me, do everything they can to call me whatever. And then what you realize is they have a link and then, they're trying to sell you something. So they're trying to take people who they know are interested in this sector. They draft my traffic, disparage me, and then try and steal, our members away from us. So it's just the era that we live in. The problem with, online is that your reputation gets smeared and that thing lives there and, there's nothing you can do about it. So, after this, I'm going to, ask, kindly if you'd submit a review so we can, offset some of these, bad actors. And I'd also like to understand how you receive this information. So let me just take kind of a survey. We're 4 days into this now. Did you guys find this information helpful? Do you see that it could, add something, an arsenal to your trading to allow you to make more money? Or do you think it was just Chinese and makes no sense? So, I'd just like to do it's coming in so fast, I can't even read it. Here, you can see this. So it's just coming in so fast, I can't keep it. So Simon says, very nice. I can't read these. So Karim says, this is Chinese and it makes no sense. So that's fine. So Karim, I'd really like you to put on a review and tell me what you didn't understand so that I can perhaps do a better job next time. I've sat in front of you guys and made a couple $100 grand this week. So I know for me it works, but I know this is how I view the markets through my own personal prism. I just see the dance of these bars. I can open up any chart. I've been doing this so long, and it either speaks to me or it doesn't. So Raymond says, I'll write you a review. I've been trading and I've learned more from you in 4 days than I have in 4 years. So I'd really like you to say that, Raymond. That would be great. Poyer says, I bought your book 3 times. Now it goes to charity, so I'm just joining for a good cause. So thank you. Yes, I double that and send it. Bruce says, I think you're real. However, I'm not sure I can grasp it. How long did it take you to master pattern? It's not as difficult as it seems, but here's the deal, is that in our elite program, sorry, let me just stop this review for a minute. What I try and do is give you the education. So the more times, so you receive this every single day as a member. And when you start getting used to it, you start understanding it. So this is what I was looking at in Tesla. And I point out all the bear price patterns I was looking at, where I put the sell stop. And you could have been triggered into this move. And this thing went to 820 today. So you could have been triggered into this thing and it went $50. And you could have made, a nice chunk of change. And then I always explain what I'm looking at. So over time, if this does not make sense to you, hopefully over time, like anything else, it will start sinking in. I mean, this took me a long time. So if you grasp this, after 4 days, I'd be pretty pissed because it took me decades to figure this thing out. Frank says, very helpful. I've been watching from time to time for 2 years. This week, I'm beginning to understand. You describe. So now, sorry, these comments come in so quickly and then I lose the thread. So I lost that thread. Alex says extremely helpful. David says very helpful. Paul says it's great. Asu says yes. Shaul says super yes. Andrew said this is more than helpful. Trust me. Corey says my results speak for themselves. Thanks to you. So good on you, Corey. John says, I learned something new every series. So John is on every one of these webinars. So thanks for that, John. So PC, should we use bars instead of candlesticks? So to me, these bars stand out to me much more than a candlestick, right? So this is very old school. But really what I'm looking for is how does something close relative to the high and low? And so when I just open this chart out, I don't even know what it is. I might not even look at it. I can just see this and I go, this thing's in a downtrend, and then I want to figure out how to. So then I start looking and certain bars makes a new high, close on the low, makes a new high, close on the low, right at this apex. So, and then you have an inside bar right there. So so these bars are much easier. I can just start seeing these reversals. They just stand out to me so clear. So if I just, look at this chart, I see this reversal, I see that reversal, I see that reversal. And so when you look at candlesticks, it's somewhat obscure, but look, whatever, floats your boat. There's no one way to make money. I have a mousetrap that I built for me that is very, very successful for me. And if you go to our review website, we've got, 250 reviews, and there are other people out there who seem to be benefiting from this. So I invite you to look at that, and I'll share that review link in just a moment. Linda says, sorry, these reviews come in so quickly, I can't read them. So Bruce says, I wonder how your program works to get the trade. Sometimes by the time I get to my computer after getting a pick, the trade is over for the profit. The market is moving. Well, that's not really true. I send these trades out at the end of the day. You could have just put a sell stop in the euro under yesterday's low and would have had plenty of time. This thing opened higher and, took whatever, a few hours, and then it would have just, so all you had to do, wake up, get my email, or, my email goes out usually around this time, 4:30 Eastern time. So all you have to do is put your sell stop in there, and that's it. With Tesla, I said put a sell stop in at 876 last night. So the market opened at 900. All you had to do is put a sell stop in there, and either you're still short or you could have taken some pieces, a nice chunk of change out of here. So I said put a sell stop there. The market opened here and then came down, banged that thing, and went down $100, $80 from there. So this is really designed as a set and forget. This is not a mechanism where you should have to day trade. Right. So if you saw this inside bar and you got my email there where you put a sell stop there at 998 or whatever that is, all you have to do is put your sell stop there. Your stop loss is still here, and you're still in this trade. So you're up, $130. So this is not designed to be an in and out thing, and you shouldn't miss it. This is designed just as a set and forget. You get your email, place the trade, and that's it. So Bruce says, do you give us the whole trade like I'm 6 years old? Yeah. So here is the trade. Here are my other trades. I've been short Dash stock. These are the other trades, Airbnb, and then you would have stopped out. You would have been stopped out today on Airbnb. So once you're in the trade, I tell you how to manage the trade. And so here would be your entry order. And these are just guides, right? And then I put a very wide stop because of the volatility. Actually, that was meant to be, yeah, okay, that was right. And then, I put a wide take profit, typically because once it hits that thing, then I want to see how the market looks. Does it look like it's going according to what I thought it did? Now, sometimes it gets into these areas where, once you get into these areas, and so this is where it's very hard to do it, in an email. But once you start getting in areas where you've hit previous support, you can't take profit because it's bound to be very choppy through here. It's not going to just cut through here like butter. But notwithstanding, even if you shorted it here, you're still in it, and this thing still looks like it's going to come down. So yes, the trade is all laid out for you, like a 5-year-old. Do you send out updates during the day? No, I don't. I do end a morning program called the Boiler Room, which is part of the Elite program if you sign up. And I start talking about these trades in the pre-market session. So I was saying today that, there's something about Airbnb, which it just wasn't performing. I didn't like the look of it. And so even though this was an open thing, I just, this thing's been struggling to go down. I think it still looks like it wants to go down, but it just, it's been like chopping wood here. So I still think it's going to go down, and I'm going to wait for another signal. So I talk about all of these trades in my early morning session, but I don't do anything during the day. No, I really don't want you guys to trade 1,000,000 times a day. The whole thing is put your sell stop in the euro. You could have put your sell stop last night and then woken up and you're up 250 pips. So the idea is not to win on every trade. It's just finding those trades like the euro where you get 250 pips. And I've been telling our members to short this thing since 115. I think this is going to parity, 1-to-1 with the dollar, and then a lot lower. What software programs do you use to place your trade? I use my own brokers. So so this is a genuine question. So Kulvinder says, I wonder, even after making hundreds of thousands of dollars in a week, why you still want to make money from subscriptions and selling this business? And, that's a perfectly, legitimate question. And if I was sitting on the other side of this thing, I would be asking the same thing. First off, I will say that I've been doing these trades right in front of you. So this isn't like, me saying on Monday, this is what I would do or whatever. I told you yesterday I was going to short Amazon today. And today we're down, it's making new lows right now. We're down $300. And so, it's really, you could ask the same question of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's 92 years old. His partner, Charlie Munger, is like 98. Why would they still, I think they're doing, I don't know if they did it this weekend or are they doing it this weekend. They're doing their conference in Omaha. I don't know if it was last weekend or this weekend. but it's well worth watching. I think it's this weekend. So why would these two 90-year-olds still be going to work every day, doing conferences, doing, webinars, doing, all these things? Because it's their passion. It's what they like to do. So I understand why there would be a certain degree of, well, if you're such a hot shot, why would you bother, with a side business here? First off, I like making money. And secondly, I'm doing this thing anyways, so I'm just sharing with you what I'm looking at every single day. So to me, I open up these charts in the morning and, the boiler room is, I'm just having a conversation of what I'm looking at to do for myself as a trader. So, I understand if you question it, and if this isn't for you and you have any questions about me, then first off, I invite you to check out our review website. So, it's a perfectly legitimate question. I don't take offense to it. You can see that there's, 229 reviews, about 91% are, in the excellent. So you can just go ahead and see what other people have to say. And then I would really appreciate if you write your own review, good, bad, or indifferent. This is an independent website. We can't manipulate the outcome. It's called Trustpilot for a reason. And so you should, trust in what you see on there. So I'm going to put the link there, and I would really appreciate if you would go on here and write a review. But also, if you have any questions, Colvina, is that just check out what other people have to say. Don't believe what I have to say. Just check out what other people have to say. So, there are all kinds of people who, why does Mark Zuckerberg is worth, $100 billion? It's worth about 100 billion less than he was about a month ago, but he goes to work every day. Why? I mean, because he enjoys what he's doing. Rachel says, my account is too small to benefit. I think you can start anywhere. To me, risk is a function of knowledge. Right. So the most important asset, in this world, the most important is knowledge. Risk is a function of knowledge. So if you don't know what you're doing and you're just looking at this thing, then, it becomes very risky. If you understand how to kind of break this down and, reduce it to a risk reward parameter, then it becomes less so. So all I can tell you from my personal experience, I make an unfair amount of money out of these markets. And it's just, I've been doing it. And then, I try and share that knowledge with you. Alex says, if you want knowledge for free, join a hippie community. I like that. Yeah. Frank says, I'm 83 and go to work daily. So good for you, Frank. So look, man, to me, a life without purpose is not a life. It's a complete canard. We're told to, retirement is this fantasy where we can just kick back and play golf every day. After about 3 days in a row of playing golf, I'd want to, go out on a ledge somewhere. So I enjoy the markets. It's a challenge. It throws up these challenges every day to, challenge your assumptions, challenge what you're looking at. It's the ultimate video machine. Steve says, I'm not going to, are the recordings available? Go ahead and just send an email to support@thepatterntrader.com. And Joseph says, I wish I knew 50% of your knowledge. So if you become familiar with this, it's not that it's not difficult. I try and, break it apart so you can understand it, perhaps easier. Paying for service is also a way of forcing a commitment to yourself. If it were free, the commitment would evaporate. I think that's a very true statement, Antonio. It is. It's ultimately about, a commitment to yourself. And I think education, people go to a 4-year college or, a master's or doctorate and think nothing of spending 4 years, 70 grand a year on college education where you learn nothing. I went to USC Business School, one of the best, business schools in the country. I still can't think of a thing I learned there. Not one that, I use today. And so, it's only for you to say how much this information is worth, but this is real information that, makes me money every day. So it's up to you. Could you combine this also in an FTMO account? Not sure if trading stocks, options using your, yeah, you can trade anything on this, Angie. So really what I try and do is, it doesn't matter what this chart is, Airbnb, gold, crude oil, the euro versus the yen. Basically I just open up a chart and then, try and, see if that chart speaks to me. Is this something that I should trade? So this is the pound yen, up, down, sideways, a little bit too early to tell. So I kind of basically open up these charts, see if the thing's trending, and then see if there's a risk reward calculation. And it doesn't matter what that chart is, FX, stocks, and then options. I trade options based on what my view of the underlying asset is. So if I'm going to buy Apple options, it's not understanding the theta and the delta of that option. It's, do I believe that Apple is going to move one way or another? And Apple now is going the other way. So Apple went to about 169. Now it's at 161. So I've been saying that I'm very skeptical of these markets. I think today was a BS rally. That's why I kept my UVXY call options. UVXY is going higher in the aftermarket, so I'll make money tomorrow. But this is what I said at the beginning of the week, that this IGV is going to 270. Right now it's at 312. So we had a big rally today. We went from 300 to 312. And again, that's just the distraction. That's the magician kind of shaking his hand with one hand while he's pulling the rabbit out with the other. So, most people are day trading and, keeping an eye on what this thing did. And then not understanding why tomorrow, it's going to look like this. Why? Well, the pattern tells you. This is the governing pattern. This is just a bunch of garbage. It's noise. So pattern equals trajectory. So from this pattern, and then there was another pattern called the ascending broadening price pattern. The combination of these two bearish price patterns tell me that this is a bear market. That's not to say we can't have all kinds of fun and go higher, but all of these rallies will exhaust and then it'll go lower. Now, how do I know that? It's just because the pattern tells me that. This guy right here tells me that we're going lower. So when we have a fun day today where they just jerk your chain, one way, now Amazon is now down on the lows. So it's at 25.50 and it closed at 2,900. So it's down $400. And Apple is now down about $2. So it's understanding the patterns, understanding either you're in a trend, and this, in this case from 2019 to all, you were in an uptrend. But just like Tesla, that was an uptrend. Trends end, and when they end with a pattern. The pattern tells you that you are shifting gears, that you are transitioning from one momentum to another. So this was a big bad uptrend, and during this, all I want to do is get long and find ways to get long. And then up here, it starts telling me that this trend is ending, and this is a reversal price pattern. So by definition, a reversal is it's going to go the other way. Is there a reason candles look different from TradingView? I'm not sure what you're looking at. Do you, Joseph said, do you offer any lower price? Can you have Jonathan call me? You can call Jonathan and they'll work things out. Don't let price be a barrier. I'm sure they can work something out with you. If you really want this, I wouldn't let price be a barrier. I mean, what is the value of education? And most people, and this will sound self-serving, will say, well, the cost of this is, this, and, then I only have so much to put in my account. But really, and this is, only for you to define, what is the value of information? So if one day, you accumulate this knowledge and then you see a pattern, that comes along, and then you have more money in your account, and then you can use that knowledge. So, I remember when I was a kid, I, saw something where TV Guide, this was in, way before channel, remote channel things. We used to get a book every week called TV Guide. Told you what programs were there, what channels these programs were on. And I remember, and this made such an impression on me. It said that the value of TV Guide was worth more than Boeing. This huge company with planes and steel and all this stuff. And really what that said to me is the value of information. Why is Google worth so much money? It's because the information, they don't really own assets. They don't have planes and hangars. They have knowledge on you, which is data, which makes them worth hundreds of billions of dollars. It's the information is worth more than planes in a hangar. And that always resonated with me. I was a kid, I was 12 years old or something. And it impressed on me that the value of data, the value of information, the value of knowledge is superior to any piece of, equipment or what have you. Because you can, create infinite wealth once you understand the basis of, but it's up to you. So Apple now is plummeting. It is. I thought it would. I chose Amazon. I'm not unhappy, but now Apple is plummeting. So you could see, and what a horseshit was today. You can see the Qs went to 328 and they're 1,000 pips lower. I knew this was just a fake out. And here is Apple. So Apple closed at 163.64 and it's now $8 lower. So this is what, I started sharing with you on Monday. I said, these big guys are going to announce, and these big guys are about to roll over. And so this is Apple. And so this 155 or wherever it is now is critical, because this is where, so you can see we just had a dead cat bounce today. We bounced, sucks everybody in, and now we're back down to this line here. So you can see that every time we bounced off this line, millions of times. And now we're going to come, and I don't think it's going to, make nice there and just go back up. I think it's going to open up a huge chasm lower. So all of these things are, broken. Netflix. And so the last holdouts were really Google, which broke yesterday, broke under all of the support. So you can see that Google broke under 2,500 bucks. Facebook broke a long time ago. So all of these FANG stocks have been carrying these markets for years. You know, this is broken. Yes, it had a little bit of a upsurge today after earnings, but I think you could probably sell into that. I wouldn't sell into that. Whenever you have a key reversal like this, I think there are better things to do. But the point is that all of these things that were holding up the market are starting to roll over. Google, and to me, Apple is like a bond. This is the confidence in the market. Once the confidence comes off, once the confidence is shattered, then you could get, a decimation in the market. So this is really an anchor, Apple. And so that 155, basically where we are now, if it doesn't hold, watch out. And everything else will, start coming down. So you can see these UVXYs now are, up 60, 70 in the aftermarket. So Tesla's down $30 right now in the aftermarket. Good question. What will Amazon do tomorrow? It's I don't know what it'll do tomorrow, but it's on a lower trajectory. I can tell you what it's doing now. It's down whatever, 350 bucks. What's soft? Joseph, send a message to our support team. I don't know what his contact details are. Just send a message there and so Randy, I'm gonna just actually put that to Jonathan right now. So I just sent that to Jonathan Randy. Hopefully he'll call you back. So Alex is saying some pretty profound things. I used to be a huge spender. Now I'm a saver and investor. Turn your mindset into a wealth builder from a consumer spender. That's how you get out of the race. Stop chasing the cheese by trading the cheese. So that's probably true. Can you explain the aftermarket a little bit more? It's just the aftermarket is the aftermarket. It's very active. So you can see these things are trading while we're speaking. You could make trades through, your broker if your platform allows it. So I do a lot of trading in the pre-market and the aftermarket. Frankly, that's where I'm probably most profitable. So I'm just kind of seeing some of your comments here. How will Amazon react on tomorrow's opening? I don't know. It's reacting right now. What are the Qs doing after the market? They're getting hammered. They closed at 328 and they're trading right now 800 points lower on Amazon and Apple. And Apple. They're getting hammered. That's why I had these call options in UVXY, and I thought today was a BS move, and that's why I kept them. I think tomorrow you're going to see a huge move lower in the S&P. Michaela says, can we use any broker we want in the elite program? Yeah, I'm giving you the information. How you use this information is entirely up to you. Whether you trade it, you don't, it's up to you. It's really information. This is not a signal system. This is not a managed account. Basically, I'm imparting information. If you want to take the trades, it's up to you. I'm not forcing you. I'm sharing the information. And Angie says, what is the boiler room? It's basically a session before the market opens. So before the market opens, you see all of these discrepancies. You see all of these things. And sometimes there's an arbitrage opportunity. Just sometimes if I see the market's going lower, I look at all the things I want to buy, and then I'll buy into that lower opening. If it's, going to come in, higher. So it's just an arbitrage, opportunity. So sometimes I'll trade in the pre-market, or it'll start telling me, what to look at, what to look out for. So we discuss all of the opportunities in that session. Mike says, you're an amazing teacher. Thank you for sharing the information. You're welcome, Mike. If you would put that in a review, I would really be appreciative. James, I don't know about if we have the independent thing for the boiler room or not. I don't control any of that. I don't really worry about it. So I'm not really worried about making money from my business. I make most of my money from trading. So as you can see, my team does, all that other stuff. And if you're interested, I'd love to have you aboard. The email for the elite program will go out after the session tonight, Raymond. Grace says, thank you so much for this free webinar. I do appreciate it. You are welcome. So I think I'm going to basically leave it there. I hope you guys had an informative couple of days. Really wanted to just introduce you to the world of price action. The price is ahead of the news. You don't have to be an MIT economist. You don't have to have a particular IQ. Believe me, I'm living proof of that. The price tells you where the markets are going to go. The price is ahead of the news. So whatever, the Fed's going to do, whatever, the market starts telling you ahead of time, right? So why did I short Amazon right before the close? No clue of what those earnings were going to be, but the market tells you, and I think I said that on Monday. I said, there's all these stocks that are going to announce, and they all look weak, but this one particularly, this one I really, was gearing up for. This to me, so you can see that price, whatever was happening here, dictated what went on today. So this is all, distraction. And this is the governing or dictating. This pattern will dictate price for weeks, months, and maybe years later. This is a formidable break. We're starting to see this market break. And everybody's talking about the S&P is going to 4,000. It's just, it's a buying opportunity. This tells me that this is broken and it's not coming back. So we've been so hypnotized by these stocks for the last 10 years. They're gone. That ship has sailed. Mark says, thank you. Refreshing to hear you. No BS. I'm so glad I came across you. I'm looking forward to being involved with your learning pattern for life. So thank you, Mark. Great webinar, 5 stars. John, thank you as always. So Chris says, I didn't trade the Amazon short for the fear of the triple bottom. So yeah, this is a common thing where, most people's eyes will go to, the most immediate thing. So, and again, here's the nuance, Chris, is that once something has hit a certain thing 100 times, that is not a bottom. So, when I see this, yes, you had all these reversals. It looks like key reversals. And then I say to myself, does the market give me 2 years and 10 chances to get in a great sustainable market? No. This thing actually gave you 2 chances to get out. 1, 2, and done. So, the more times something bangs an area, by virtue of it, doing so many times, it actually just discredits itself. So yes, I appreciate, and I was listening to John Najarian, this guy on CNBC, 12 at noon, and he said, yeah, this is a double bottom today. I'm buying it long. And this is a guy who's on TV, man. I feel like calling these guys and go, it's just, he's a professional giving people advice. And he said, yeah, this is a double bottom. You can go look at it. It's on CNBC today on the half hour that Scott Wapner. John Najarian said this is a double bottom. So I don't blame you, Chris, for thinking this is a double bottom. But what I was saying, you schmuck, this is a double top. So there's a lot of nuance in these charts. They will throw a lot at you and force you and make you think all these different things. So hopefully, this is where I can add a little bit of value. You're welcome. Bruce says he and his brother were football players in Minnesota, I think now doing options. They are, and they're pretty brain dead. Yeah, Steven says Najarian is an idiot. He's wrong most of the time. He is. He he's trading these stocks. Yeah, it's just, I'll be looking at a chart like this and they'll say, okay, this is a buy. Okay. Just like Kramer. Kramer's a moron too. He's just selling you the news and taking the other side, probably. So that's why, I say don't look at these guys. Don't look at TV. Don't look at the news. Price is the news. All you have to know is this. Najarian, 1,000 opinions on the internet. It will just take you out of your game. The whole thing in this game is to be objective. If you're not objective, these moves will wipe you out. Thanks, Natalia. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to leave you there. Have a great rest of the week. Stay safe. And please, if you can, take a small moment of time and, put, because I get a lot of feedback from that. So if you would, yeah, I think I put it in there. Dwight, did you put the link in Trustpilot in YouTube?
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna put it again.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Take care. Thanks, Dwight.
All right, Mark. Bye.
Thanks.